All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel here. Say if you're looking at the video here, you may be interested in looking to purchase or get into saddle hunting. I know there's been a lot of videos on this, but I just wanted to give a review and an overview basically of what my 2025 saddle setup's going to be for deer hunting or bow hunting this year. I started piecing this together, just giving you a quick span here of what I've got, and then we'll talk over the details. But I started piecing this together, like I said, 2024 last season. And now I've made some refinements, adjustments, got a couple different things. And I'm finally at a point, having used it last year, to where I think I got my system or set up to where I want it to be. So it comes down to personal preference. You got to try some things, and some things may not work. But I just wanted to go through this with you, what I like and what I don't like. Like I said, if you're in the market of buying or looking to get your first saddle set up, or maybe getting a new one or upgrading, I just wanted to give you an overview of these, to talk you through like the pros and cons of what I like about them, things I've changed, that sort of thing, just to give you a better information on this setup if you're looking to buy. So we'll just work left to right here with what I have. And we'll go from there. I'll walk through the details of them. So if you have any questions too, and maybe I didn't cover it in the video here with my setup, feel free to drop a comment in the video here, and I'll be happy to answer them if you have any questions. So we'll start with the platform here first. We'll just go left to right to be simple here. So this is, you'll see, I guess real quick, I'll back up a second here. Most of this setup, in fact, all of it's pretty much a tethered setup, with the exception of some of their grit or workhorse lineup series here, you'll see. So very much tethered based. You know, there's several other good brands out there. It just comes down to what you like, your preference, that sort of thing. So we'll start off with the platform. This is the Workhorse XL from Grit, which is from Tethrd. This is the XL platform. Like I said, there's the regular one as well. I think this one is sub 4 pounds, if I remember, like 3 and some change. The regular one, I think, is even less. So I opted for the XL from Grit here. You can see it's got the nice powder coated finish here. The XL, I just wanted a little bit more foot placement. The small one, looking at it, I thought maybe it was probably a little too small. So it's kind of a preference thing. If you want to be as minimalist as you can, you might want to get the regular size. If you have bigger feet, or if you're coming from a hang-on stand or ladder stands traditionally, this may be a good segue, just having the bigger one just for more foot pad space and just a little more assurance or comfortability as you're starting out with saddle hunting. I just personally, you know, like the extra footprint here. So it's, you know, I could probably get away with the regular, but I opted for the XL just for more foot space, especially with late season and bigger boots and that kind of stuff. I found that this works better for me. I didn't really make any modifications to this. This is basically the same as Tethrd's Predator series, if you're familiar with that, with the exception of the powder coat finish being different, and obviously the grit stamping on the casting here. Again, lightweight aluminum, so basically a clone of Tethrd's Predator line, but in the Grit series available in retail stores, and I believe it traditionally has been a little bit less priced too. So modifications here, I didn't make much other than silencing efforts and ascending or hanging options here. So real quick, on the top corner here, I put just some paracord or just some normal rope here, or string if you want. This is for me to hang on to my saddle or my backpack as I'm ascending or climbing the tree. So I'll talk about that a little more when I get to the actual saddle itself, but I put these on my sticks and the platform just to give you, or for ascending, that I can basically make one climb at once, have them available at my fingertips quickly so I can set them up, and like I said, climb with them. So kind of a one-stop shop, or a one process where I plan to climb just one time. So then silencing efforts, I didn't do a whole lot on here. I just put some stealth strips here on this piece here in the middle brace here off the platform. So as you can see, when this closes, just trying to mitigate noise. So that would oftentimes bang on there. I would take the cam strap and strap it around tight to really eliminate that when I'm traveling. But when you're taking it apart and hanging it up, it just takes away some of that noise. So The other piece too, I found this clunking sometimes on the actual platform when traveling, so I just put stealth strips kind of on the perimeter of the cam strap there itself. So very simple system there, nothing, you know, basic, just off the Grit Series workhorse, nothing too crazy there. Moving on here, we'll work on or talk about the knee pads here, or the knushions as Tethrd likes to call it. So this is their original Tethrd knushion. You can see it's a very thin minimalist profile, great for packing light, great for packing in your backpack with minimal storage space. Very simple design, a really nice, like, I guess I would describe it as like a textured rubber type material, so it grips your knees real good. The next one here is their new knushion. I think it's called XT, which is like extra thick, I'm guessing. You can see it's got this, the wingspans on the outside here with even more cushioning. So I started with this one, got it for a really good deal, clearance item with them. And then I ended up getting this one, which is a little thicker padding. I'm kind of partial between the two, just with what I think about them. They both serve their own purpose, I should say. This one seems to be, the original one, seems to be a little more versatile with tree sets in terms of like wrapping around the tree, probably because it's a little more flexible, and it just seems to have better grip too on both sides actually. So, however, with the, I guess the drawback would be that it doesn't, you can see not a whole lot of padding, but it's enough for you to just kind of take some of your weight off when you're cradled in the saddle up against a tree, just to kind of take some of that load off your legs or whatever. So definitely serves a purpose. The drawback would probably be just a little bit thinner in profile, so less padding. The XT, it really takes no water, so if it's inclement weather, rain, snow, that kind of stuff, it doesn't soak up water. This one kind of does on the backside, I would say, but that's about it. So benefit there is don't have to worry about weather, rain, that kind of stuff with it getting soaked. Like I said, this one provides obviously optimal cushioning and comfort here. So those long days, you may want to opt for this just for more comfort. The little bridge here kind of looks like a skateboard is the best way I can describe it, with the lips on the outside. It kind of helps you keep your knees cradled towards the center, I would say. I will mention that helps when, I guess it's optimal when you have a bigger tree, as you can see the back here. There's not a whole lot of flex in this, kind of like the original one. So you get less flex with this, which means it doesn't conform to smaller trees very well. So that is one drawback with this one I found. Yes, optimal comfort, kind of has that waterproof design where it doesn't really absorb anything, but it is a little finicky with smaller trees is what I found, where it wants to try to bend back and it just really isn't capable of doing so. And so what happens there a couple times for me is when you clip this to the tree, or the bark I should say, I had one side come off a couple times, so I just had to readjust a little bit, but definitely a little more finicky or touchier with smaller trees, so just FYI. I'm gonna try something this year that I've seen some other folks do, and that's taking like a metal file on the clip ends here, so they both have that, and just filing them down on the, I guess it would be probably the inside, I would guess, maybe outside and inside, kind of like a fishing hook, just to sharpen them or make them a little more tacky so they stick into the bark better. So I'm gonna try that this year, and we'll see how that works. So that's that for the knushions. Next we'll go through, I keep this in my pack at all times. This is the, I think it's called the HYS or HIS hauler. So hang your stuff is what it's abbreviated for. It's a very good, just very versatile tool here, especially public land. Not supposed to be screwing things into trees and that kind of thing. It just straps around the tree and it's able to hold all my gear. So very adjustable. You can see all the different molly positions here, or webs. You know, I got one clip here, night eyes clips, everything I have with the stealth strips on the outside there just for noise reduction. But I use one for like a grunt tube or binoculars or like smaller accessory type stuff. And then I have a bigger one for my backpack here, so that hangs onto my backpack. And then I just have another smaller one for any other accessories should I need. Default, I obviously use the bigger backpack one all the time. The accessory one's kind of ad hoc or as needed. So again, this is the HIS hauler. I have the Fold and Go from Tethrd as well. This is perfect for your bow, so that latches into those molly webs there up on the tree. Very versatile and adjustable. This is great for, again, public land or quick hang and hunt. It will, for holding your bow. You could also get these for other accessories too, but I find it perfect for your bow. So it's kind of the composite or plastic material, so it won't scratch your bow and is quiet and that sort of thing. So that's what I use for my tree accessories once I'm set up, climbed, ascent, and ready to go. This is what I use to hang my gear. So moving on next year, this is probably the bigger area for debate or discussion. Really comes down to preference in your style. Again, this is a Tethrd saddle. This is their ultralock SD. So you can see this SD stands for stripped down. This came out last year, I believe, as a revision or spin-off to their original ultralock, which has the suspenders and all the more side dump pouches and that sort of stuff. So the SD stripped down, meaning that it comes blank slate. I should mention you can see here with the webbing here, it's kind of a spin-off of their Phantom, but a more comfortable version of it, I would say. So it's almost like, well, basically kind of is almost like a 2-panel saddle. You can see it's kind of got 2 separate webbings here, but in the same sense, it's almost like a single panel too. So these suspension straps here on both sides come with it, and it kind of keeps just tension on there once you actually have it assembled or put on, to kind of keep tension there. So you can pull these down to make it more of a traditional 2-panel, or you can keep them bunched up like that to almost be kind of like a single panel, like a Phantom almost. So again, ultralock SD stripped down is what it stands for. So it comes with bare bones, just the saddle basically. And what I've added to this is I just went with the original cis haulers or dump pouches with Tethrd, just the small, simple, cheap ones that they have. I didn't opt for like the bigger zipper ones and that kind of stuff. I wanted to keep it a little smaller for that reason. And I really only use them for my lineman's belt here, and then my tether, and I think I have a back band or recliner in here as well. So I'll pull these out quick. Yeah, so you can see I got my my tether here and this side. And I got their back band or recliner for the longer hunts and stuff, just to support your back. And that all fits in the single cis hauler there. So lineman's belt on this side. And so accessory wise, all I really have is, these are standard, I should say. But on the actual saddle, I got the single dump pouches, 1 on each side, or cis haulers. And then I also have, you can see over the top middle here, I got their single clippies, they call them, so 1 on each side here. And so I got night eyes, or just any type of S-clip really, on here, which I mentioned having the paracord here on the one side. I clip those in there, so one side I got my platform, and then the other side I can carry 1 or 2 climbing sticks. So when I'm climbing, I always put the first 2 up on the tree usually, and then the second or the third and sometimes 4th, I will just piggyback onto here with clips. So that's all I have for this strip down. This is, or the ultralock strip down, I should say, excuse me. This is, again, it's a lot more comfortable than, I should say, more versatile and comfortable probably than the Phantom. Phantom's probably a little more minimalist, like run and gun. This comes down to preference as well. I don't really have any cons to say about this other than it is bulkier than the Phantom. So if you want true minimalist, this may not be the one for you, but I think it's a happy medium because it's still lightweight, compact, but it also has the features for comfort here for those longer sits. And I feel with the ultralock here, it kind of feels more of like a cradle or more of a hammock effect with your hips and your body. So it's more comfortable for those longer sits, I would say, especially kind of in pressure point areas. So seems to be a little more comfortable with the drawback of probably more weight and footprint. So just keep that in mind. I'll quickly touch through the lineman's belt and tether. So that's one thing I changed this year, both the tether and my lineman's belt here. These are the 8mm ropes. I originally had the 11s. The 11s are just too bulky, in my opinion. They work great, they serve a purpose, but they're definitely heavier, and they definitely stow or fold away much in a bulkier fashion. So these fit much better in my cis haulers I have here. So if you're looking for these and you can spend the money, I'd recommend jumping to the smaller ones right away, just to save yourself space and weight and that sort of thing. So again, 8mm there. I got the normal hunter's safety system bow rope here, which I oftentimes clip on to the back of my saddle here, or I put this on my backpack. So as I'm ascending, like I said, want to ascend one travel, then I want to go up and down several times. I clip my bow on here, and as I ascend, this free spools out, and then I can reel it back in, kind of like a fishing rod. So great little tool here from HSS, or Hunter Safety System, for carrying your gear up or your bow. All right, last but not least, oh, I forgot to mention, I think I talked briefly, just the back band here, recliner from Tethrd, helps for those longer hunts. That stores in my assist hauler as well. So last, moving on to the my sticks here. So again, this is the Grit series, the Workhorse series from Tethrd, a more budget-oriented, retail available lineup from them. Still good Tethrd quality. I went for these just for the price to start out, and they're actually I think they're like 1.9 pounds, so sub 2 pounds per stick, so relatively lightweight, budget-oriented. I would have liked their 1 sticks just for the lightweight. However, the price point's a little out of my range right now. Maybe someday, but if you're filling or just starting out and you're on a budget, that sort of thing, I think these are great. There's been a couple negative things on these to start, and I've experienced those myself. The first one, I'll get through the negatives here, or forewarnings, I should say. Not really a negative here, you can fix it. Looking at these sticks, they pack real nice. However, the first couple times out, they come with these, I don't even have them on anymore. They're black little plastic, like retainer clips basically. So, you know, in theory and design, they work well. I've covered this on my other videos too. If you look for those on my channel regarding these sticks, they come with little black clips there, which are retention clips, and they're meant to kind of snap on here. Like I said, in theory and design, they work great, but cold weather, they don't stand a chance. And cold weather, I mean probably 40 degrees or less. So not even that cold. They just crack, snap, and break real quick. In fact, the first time I used these, I had 2 of them break when I was clipping them together after my hunt. I got a replacement from Tethrd, used them again, thinking it was maybe a one-off thing, and then it happened again. So I knew there was a flaw there, and what I did is I went to Tethrd's website and went to get the stick lock pins, which ironically they come with on the bottom, I believe, but they did not come with the top. So I just ordered those, 99 cents a pack, I believe, from Tethrd's website, and replaced those black S clips with these S-lock pins. And now it's almost as if I think these came off the Skeletors, I'm guessing, because they have them by design already. So it looks like they're meant to be in there in the first place. So now they just slide in nice like the other Tethrd Skeletors or 1-sticks do. And I think they actually make less noise, in my opinion, and so it's kind of a better thing. So that's one negative on these. Real cheap fix. You know, 99 cents for a pack of these. Just get yourself these right away if you buy these, and don't even mess around with those S-clips is my recommendation. The other piece here is some folks have complained about a little bit of rattling. You can see I got a little bit of play there. Not rattling, but just play when you put your weight on here. So you could remedy that with some tape. I've seen some folks do tape around there, like hockey tape or something. Taking this off, put it on the inside, and that'll probably stiffen it up. Doesn't really bother me. It's very minimal play, so not a big deal. Safety-wise, it's not going to go anywhere because you can see it's kind of a channel inlay there, so once fastened properly, it shouldn't go anywhere. But those are the only 2 drawbacks I have. I love their Dynalite rope system. Very compact, very quiet, very easy to set up. I love this system where opposed to traditional straps. So, and you can see on one of them I got the paracord rope as well, and that, like I mentioned, on my saddle, that's for S-clipping into these as I'm ascending, to try and make it a one-time climb basically. So anyways guys, I'll cut it here, cut it off there. I'll pan through this quick one more time just to show you. This is my setup for this year. I've had a few tweaks and setups and different things I've gotten, and I think I finally got to the point where I like how it's set up now. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment or message me on any of this stuff, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have, or thoughts or reasons of maybe I missed on this video of why I went one way or the other with these, and I'd be happy to answer that for you. So thanks for watching, guys.